3, 2, 1. What is going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast brought to you by Steel Fist. Today I'm here with one half of May 31st co-main event, Mr. Thomas Hughes. How you doing, my friend?
What up, man? What's going on?
Nothing. Just get ready to get this thing going. It's been a while since I've had someone in studio. I almost forgot what it's like to look across and see somebody. Normally, it's like I'm staring up into my phone, and it's a little easier because I always tell people I'm naturally shy, and when I get behind the mic, I feel more comfortable. But it's a lot easier when it's just it's a lot easier when it's when it's on the phone because then I don't have to make eye contact or nothing. But no, we're good. First thing I always get into is, do you have a nickname? If so, give us the origin story.
I've had a couple nicknames that I've been given, but I think like the only one that ever stuck was the Hitman.
Okay.
Just because I've always been a striker, you know, it's no secret that I'm a stand-up fighter, so the Hitman, dude. My one of my best friend, like my childhood best friend's dad gave it to me.
I like it.
And he passed away like a few years ago. And so I was like, dude, I'm definitely keeping that name. I was like, I want to rock that because
that's the one to stick with, and that's a good one, and it fits you. I hate nicknames that don't fit people. Like I think the only pit bull that really I will always associate. Well, there's two of them. Andre Arlovsky will always be the pit bull.
Yeah.
And Thiago Alves. Because he looks like a pit bull, and so like
isn't there like 3 pit bulls? There's or something.
There's like
a bunch of them.
Yes, there's a bunch of them. One's fighting. I think this
Michael
weekend.
Chandler.
Yeah. One's fighting. There's so many pit bulls in the world, and there's a few Hitmans, but Hitman does work because you definitely are known as a stand-up striker.
Yeah, dude. I think the only Hitman I knew growing up was Thomas Hearns, dude. Old school boxer. Yeah. Thomas the Hitman Hearns. I loved him, bro.
Yeah.
So I definitely adopted that name quick. I was like, I'll take that. Right, so I've had a few lame ones given to me. Like I think Kelton, one of my like old school kid. Me and him been training together since I was like 12.
Yeah.
Over at Maury's, like the first gym in our area that ever opened up. So I grew up with him, and like my first fight, he's like, "We're gonna call you Sir Thomas Hughes." I was like, nah, dude. And he started putting it on all my banners, and I was like, man.
No, that don't work.
I got it changed quick, dude. My wife was like, "That's gay." I guess.
Yeah, you can say that if you want.
Well, it's my bad.
Because I always come up with 3 just in case you don't have them, and I'm gonna make Lucas stick to the one I gave him, which is my man, Lucas, my man Montoya.
Yeah, dude, I didn't like. Wait, my man?
My man.
Yeah, I didn't like Madman.
Yeah,
like, you guys, that don't fit Lucas.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
We were, like best friends, and I'm like, yo, you can't. Lucas ain't no madman, dude. That fool fights with a smile on his face.
That's what I said. I was like, you're not a madman. You don't even fight like a madman. So I was like, that don't work. So I was like, I wanted to change it to Lucas, my man Montoya.
Yeah, dude, for real.
And he's like, okay, that's the only one he kind of like. The other 2 I gave him, he was like, nah, man, don't. He's like, that was the first one I said. Then after that, he was like, no, don't. The ones I was gonna. Of course, I was with you. I was like, you gotta go handsome Thomas Hughes. Handsome.
It's my teeth.
Handsome Thomas Hughes. And then I had some other. I'm not gonna go over it. Oh, actually, the other one was head kick, and I think we both know why.
Yeah. That's a funny story, dude. Because I was trying at Pat's funeral. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna say it was Matt. I don't want people to be like. It's like I used to put out like highlight footage to promote myself when I was like a up and coming fighter. Mm-hmm. And then I found out people were getting pissed. They like, so no one wanted to spar with me because know, like that's how you promote yourself. Like nobody does it, and no one wants to share anything. So I was like, well, I started to get away from that. Mm-hmm. And so when I was talking at Pat's funeral, I was like, I'm not going to call him out and be like, yeah, I head kicked that. So I'm like, and then you're like, hey, by the way, my name's Matt. I'm like, bro, I know. I was trying to not call you out until I kicked you in the head.
Yeah, man, I got no pride. I don't hold nothing like that. To me, that's a badge of honor in many ways. I mean, first of all, you get head kicked by Thomas Hughes and get put to sleep. You're the only person in my life to put me out like that.
Oh, man, sorry, bro.
Don't be sorry because it was first of all it happens. We're going in there striking and you are a pro fighter. At that time, you were just turned pro at that point.
Yeah, I think I just barely turned
But
pro.
you've been throwing head kicks your entire life. I'm not used to head kicks, and I just ducked my head as you were swinging toward.
Yeah,
and you were going for the body, and I have a very weird way of moving my body, and I moved my head down to your foot. And
yeah, dude, when you got the two forces colliding, bro, it creates damage.
I wasn't sweating it at all. I tell everybody, I'm like, Thomas Hughes, the only person knocked me out. Cold. You were being all nice after. You're like, it was a flash knockout. I was like, no, because when you threw the kick, you were standing here. When you finished the kick, you were standing, or when I woke up, you were standing over. You're behind me, and Pat was standing there holding my feet, waking me up. So, no, man, don't sweat
dude,
that.
I've always had a problem with like the whole. It was because as I started transitioning to MMA, it was with Lucas. Like me and him were. I mean, the first time I trained with him, I went home and told my wife, I was like, I'm not fighting anymore. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like I'm like, I just sparred this Mexican kid, and his jab was so fast. I'm like, there's no answer for that.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, you have to keep training. So I ended up, after that, I was like, okay, I got to train with this kid all the time. So Lucas and I have this like mutual agreement where there is no going light with us. Like, when me and him spar, it's like, we could be best friends right before and right after, but in that round, Lucas and I are trying to hurt each other for sure. Like, and unfortunately, I've taken that into kind of like with everybody. And the reason why is because I've sparred with like brand new people that have never trained before, and you kind of have to establish that like, hey, listen, if I want to turn it on, I can turn it on and hurt you, because even if you've never fought a day in your life, as long as you're athletic, you can hurt someone. Yeah. Like a punch is a punch. I don't care if when people are like, oh, that's not the right way to throw a punch. Dude, I've seen people knocked out with the worst punches in the world. There is no right way to throw a punch. Yeah. There's better ways, but no right way. So these new guys, you could get hurt from them. Mm. And there were times that I'd come in and train, and I'd see Lucas being nice to someone, and they'd catch him and hit him, and he'd still be nice. I'm like, bro. And then he would say to me, you're such a bully. I'm like, listen, dude, I only do it the first time, really, because I let you know, like, hey, I'm going to beat you up real quick, and I'm going to beat you up for like 2 minutes of the 5-minute round, just to establish that, like, if you come at me like that, because you have no control when you're new, you know? Yeah. So if you come at me like that, I can turn it back on and get you, you know? Yeah. So usually when I spar someone the first time, I go pretty hard, you know, because I'm like, hey, I don't care if you're new. I don't care if you have 2 fights or 12 fights. You can hurt anyone. I don't care if you're 15, dude. Yeah. Like we had this kid that's been training with us since he was like 12 years old, Cole. And this kid can hurt people, dude. I don't care if you're 14, 15, whatever. It still hurts, you know? So I do that, and Lucas is different. He'll go into sparring matches with people and just pitter-patter, and they'll tag him or something. And then they go home and like, oh, dude, I cracked Lucas Montoya today. So with me, I'm like, you ain't going home and say, I'm kind of a jerk like that. But I say after the round's over, dude, I'm like, whatever, bro. Like, let's. Yeah, no,
I never, and you know, I've only sparred with you a few times. I've never gotten the oh, he's a jerk, but the whole like, oh, he's trying to hurt me. I do say I hate sparring you though, only because of your speed. Your speed frustrates me because I'm not that fast, and so you're so fast and you're accurate that you're not hurting me, and it doesn't feel like you're trying to hurt me. But I'm like, it's a frustrating speed, which speaks to how good you are. But to me, I'm like, it's a little. To me, I'm like, man, I get frustrated when I'm sparring with Thomas because I know he's not turning it up. I know he's more or less you're matching what I'm doing because I'm showing you the respect, so you're showing me the respect. But even you're showing me the respect is so much faster than me. It's impressive. So I just tell people, I'm like, man, I hate sparring Thomas.
You know what? I wouldn't say that I have to kind of fix it a little bit. I wouldn't say that I ever try to hurt anyone because that's not ever my goal. To the body. All day I'll hurt you to the body. Yeah. I'll drop you to the liver all day because that doesn't create like that. But to the head, like I don't ever try to actually hurt anyone. Yeah. Like I'll if I feel like you're going a little too hard with me, the first thing I do is I kick you to that liver. Yeah. And kind of like take your energy from here, and I say, okay, if you're not going to slow down, I'm going to force you to slow down, and then I'll start kicking you to the body and be like, yeah, all right, now you're slowing down. Cool. Yeah. Now let's relax and do our thing. So, but yeah, definitely don't ever try to hurt anyone except for Lucas. Like like there is no. Like, all right, let's slow down a little. No, we just kind of go at it, dude. Like we've tried that whole like, hey, let's warm up. And after we touch gloves and 2 punches are thrown, it just like we just turn it up. So now we're like I don't want to warm up. You don't want to warm up. Let's just go.
Yeah, that's me. That's me and Eric Munoz to a T. We know each other so well. We've had so many rounds together. When he'll say, "All right, everyone warm up," and if I'm warming up with someone else, it's a warm up. When it's Eric, no, we're going full speed right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you have those people, and those are your number one teammates. Those are the ones you're always going to be with, because those are the ones are going to push you, and you're going to push them. So it's always good to have that person in your camp. So yeah, I didn't know if I was going to bring up the head kick, the knockout, but I knew it was going to come out. I knew we were going to get right into it, because to me, you're a very well known fighter here in Utah. I mean, just yesterday I was at work where I'm a security guard, and I was talking to a guy who's come to a couple fights, and I said, "Are you coming to the fights on 31st?" And the guy he's walking with is like, "Oh yeah, Thomas Hughes is on that card." So you're a well-known fighter. So I always do when I talk about sparring, I'm like, yeah, the only person ever to put me out. I've had two what you call flash knockouts. I've had two. One was actually in the middle of my very first fight. And I woke up and the fight wasn't over, so then we were able to finish it. We were able to finish it. He knocked me out into a takedown. He hit me in the chin. I went out, and I woke up with my arms wrapped around his legs, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's the best.
I guess I'm a wrestler now. So yeah, and then the other one was just Ben. Ben. Ben goes hard too.
Yeah.
Ben goes hard too.
I've had to hurt Ben a few times. I've had to slow him down before, and I'm like. But he's a good kid.
Yeah, he is. He got me with an uppercut, and I was out and up. So, anyways, I do want to ask. Because I want to get into this. I never really get into this with too many guests. But first of all, how's the family doing?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
I've got twin boys that are 7 and a 2-year-old, and just always on the go, dude. I got all boys, so my life's pretty easy with all boys.
Yeah. I was gonna. I asked that because it's very apparent on your social media that you're a proud father, like myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're the light of our lives. Do you let them? Do they know what you do? Do they know you're a fighter?
Yeah, dude.
They know about it.
Yeah, they do, man. They know exactly what I do. They're like, I work with them individually a little bit. I don't really want them to get into fighting too much. Like, I mean, if that's what they choose to do, then I'm cool with it. But for the most part, like, I'd rather them play soccer or baseball or something that, I don't know. Like, I couldn't imagine watching them compete in, like, any combat sport. I'd rather they did other stuff.
Yeah. Do they come out? Do they watch you fight? Have they seen your fights?
I probably won't. Maybe when they're a little bit older, I'll bring them out. But I don't know. It's a really loud environment, dude.
Yeah.
My kids are... I don't know. I don't even want to... It's not that it's a bad environment. It's just so loud that I don't think they would enjoy being at the fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I see, like, parents have their kids walk out with them, or, like, a child walk out with them, and then they get knocked out and lose. And it's just, like, devastating, dude. To expose your kids to that. Mixed martial arts fighting is unlike any other sport in the world. Like, for example, if the Jazz lose, you're just like, whatever. They lost a game.
Yeah.
Even if they get spanked, you're like, whatever. Like, I'm still a Jazz fan.
Yeah.
And then, like, if they lose the playoffs, like, it doesn't matter. You're still a fan of theirs. In fighting, like, for example, when Jose Aldo lost to Conor McGregor, this guy went undefeated for 10 years, wiped out that division over and over and over again.
Yeah.
No one even stood a chance with Jose Aldo. McGregor comes in, knocks him out in 13 seconds or 16 seconds, or 13 seconds. And then you see this trend of comments like, Aldo was never that good. And I'm like, listen, you're talking about a guy that in 10 years we're going to talk about like we talk about Ali. Like, and same thing with Anderson Silva. Like, these people, they jump off of you as a fan, and they're like, oh, these are casual. Not even just the casual MMA fans. Like, your typical... You're good, like the real strong fans of mixed martial arts, because they've never been in that situation in a fight or competed at a higher level like that. Yeah. If you lose, they're like, oh, you're not good.
They just write you off.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're not good anymore. It's like, oh, well, what about the 20 wins I had before this fight?
Yeah.
What about, so that still makes me not good. But so having a kid see that at like 7 years old, I don't want my kids to be like, oh, my dad's not good. You know what I mean?
They got you have to have them, always have you at the top of their site, and it's rough to see people turn their backs on you. It's always hard. It always drives me nuts when a fighter maybe goes on one or maybe a 2-fight losing streak, and all of a sudden they win, and then you hear the announcers, he's back. I'm like, he lost 2 fights, he didn't go anywhere. It's like and there's he's back, and they're just so quick. You're right. It is the sport that promotes like the most fair weather fans, and that's where it's hard because Jose Aldo, you can't take anything away from him.
No, dude, dude is one of the greatest fighters to ever live.
And that fight in particular, I pointed out every time. Conor got hit too.
Yeah.
Conor's punch just landed in the right spot.
Exactly.
You watch, they both threw, they both landed. It was almost a Rocky moment. They both got hit. Conor just landed in the right spot.
Yeah, dude, it's so interesting, like a fraction of a mistake, like the littlest things can change an entire fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's my last 2 fights, I didn't get hit until it was the hit that changed the fight. Like when I get in these exchanges and it's like a striking match, I don't get touched in the striking, and I'll pick you apart. And then the second I smell blood and I feel like you're hurt, I didn't grow up as like an athlete. I didn't play sports. I didn't play basketball. I didn't play football. I grew up fighting. Like I'd been training in martial arts since I was a kid. So elementary, junior high, high school, anyone who knew me back then knew, like they knew this would be my career when I grew up, because they're like, dude, we're constantly fighting. So I have that mindset of like when someone's hurt and I see it in your eyes, I'm like a shark. Like when I smell blood, I go for it, and that's where I make the mistake. Is like then I give you the chance because I close that distance because I'm such a long fighter, and everybody I've ever fought is always over 6 feet tall. Like I'm always fighting way taller people than me, but I still fight long because I'm faster. And then I get in those exchanges and I'm like, oh, I got you hurt. You're on the fence. Like my last fight, I mean, he ducked his head and covered up from both sides, and I was just teeing off on him and was like, oh, dude, I got this fight. And, I mean, he's looking at the ground if you watch the fight over and throws a punch with his eyes closed, and it catches me on the chin, and it changes the course of the fight. You know? Which, if I didn't have such a killer mindset, I would have backed off and picked my shot. You know, like, okay, I got you hurt. Bang. Oh, teep kick. Oh, right, left. And kept my distance and waited till the ref was like this close to stopping the fight. Yeah. But instead, I changed the course because I closed that distance. So that's like that flip a coin, like 50-50 shot. If you're both throwing and you're both in range, it's a 50-50 shot on who's going to land. Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at like some of my favorite fighters right now, like Jorge Masvidal, Cowboy Cerrone, these are guys that they don't have titles, but Jorge Masvidal has like 16 losses on his record. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you look at Anthony Johnson or Anthony Smith, who just fought Jones, the dude went on like a 9-fight losing streak and turned around but people see, well, you lost, so like you're probably not going to make it to the UFC. But they don't understand, like you don't understand what the sport really is until you've gotten in there and fought at a higher level. You know, unfortunately, because my kickboxing record, people assume I have this like large MMA record. I only had 3 amateur fights before I went pro. Right. You know, but these guys, all 3 guys I fought as a pro, the first kid was 10-0 as an amateur. Second kid, Dustin, he had like 16 fights as an amateur, and then this last kid I fought had 15 or 14 fights as an amateur. Yeah. So I can't get a fight with someone that has the same MMA experience as me. I have to fight higher level guys. Yeah. You know, and that like same thing with this Russian kid that I'm fighting. I don't even know his name, but Florin. This kid has a way larger MMA background than me, but I don't care at all. But it just sucks for me because I have to fight a higher level of competition right out the gate. Yeah. Whereas most of these guys are like, okay, I fought 15, 16 times as an amateur. I got all that experience under my belt. Now let's make that transition to pro. Yeah. You know, I couldn't get a fight as an amateur. No one would fight me. So I was like, well, I have to go pro. You know, Jen Howe, Jeremy Horm's, I think his girlfriend or wife, or I don't think they're married, but she's the promoter of Elite, and she was the one that was like, dude, I can't get you anything. Yeah. If you want to turn pro, I can bring in someone from California. He's got a lot more experience than you, but she's like, it's kind of just like that's what you're gonna have to do. Yeah. unless I wanted to go to the kickboxing world again, where
Yeah.
I have most of my experience. So.
Yeah, well, you bring up such a good point because you see so many fighters in the UFC that have like maybe like a 5-0 record or a 4-3 record, and they're still so. I mean, most fighters say, "I didn't know what I was doing until like my 20th fight."
Right,
like
right.
you know, all these super experienced fighters like I didn't even know how to throw a punch until my 13th fight, and so like you've seen all these fighters getting young, and I've wanted to when I do my solo segments, I've wanted to say so many times that some of these past UFC cards have been garbage because I'm looking at the still fist fights and I'm like, man, that was a better card than what the UFC just put on last weekend.
Yeah, well, because they're looking for undefeated guys.
Yeah,
they're looking for guys that have these perfect records, and then. If you look into the background of this dude's record, like their whole Ultimate Fighter, they did the Undefeated Ultimate Fighter. To me, was one of the lamest Ultimate Fighters I've ever watched because you had a bunch of dudes who went and had gimme fights and made it to 10-0 or 9-0 or 6-0.
Yeah.
And just the level of competition was so different. Like just because you have an undefeated record doesn't mean you're anything. Doesn't mean you've competed against the toughest challenges. You know. So, it bugs me so bad.
Yeah.
The first thing people ask that, "Oh, you're an MMA fighter? What's your record?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I just say undefeated. I say
1-3, bro, or 1-2, bro.
I just say I'm undefeated, 1-0.
Oh, dude, it's stressful, but at the same time, it's like you can't get mad at them. They don't know.
They don't, and even like the ones that are fans, they're not stepping in there. They don't know. They don't know. Like you said, like they don't know that split second that it takes to change something. Like you said, you're teeing off on someone, and you're going in to finish. You're a finisher. You're not going to try to point. You could, with your background, the type of fighter you are, you say you fight long, you could point somebody. You could probably go to decision with every single fight, but you're not. You're a fighter. You want to go in. You want to finish the fight.
I don't have that in me to score points.
Yeah,
bro. Like,
exactly. You have the technique. I know you have the technique and skill to do it, but that's not who you are. So you put yourself in harm's way to finish the fight because that's who you are. With you noticing that are you working on trying to, or are you just this is me, this is who I am? Because
I've always one of the scariest things to me ever would be to be booed in a fight.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people see there are higher level guys that are fans that train in jiu-jitsu or wrestling, and when the grappling transition happens, in some way it can be exciting. Like if I see two high level wrestlers, like you see Kamaru Usman and Tyrone Woodley wrestling or fighting, I actually am entertained by that.
Yeah.
But if the crowd boos me, dude, I just feel like as fighters, the most important thing to do is entertain that crowd, dude. We're entertainers as much as a musician, as much as Hollywood. We are there locked in that cage, and we've got hundreds and thousands of people watching. And if they're not entertained and they're bored with you, what are you? And so that's why I've always been I've had a lot of my coaches be like, dude, you got to just you don't got to go for the kill. You don't. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'll still have that killer instinct in me. And so if I see it, I'm gonna go for it. You know what I mean? But definitely, dude. I have I have a 6'1" reach. I have a long reach.
Yeah.
I could throw my jab out, and I got a good jab, and I could keep you away, and I could keep you from closing that distance.
Yeah.
And I could score points for 15 minutes. But if you go watch any fight that was on the last card I was on, or the card before that, it was all this pitter patter, tap tap, stay away, don't get in range to actually get hurt, let's score points. And then you listen to my fight, and the first kick you hear, you're like, oh. I mean, you literally, even our announcers on, Castillo, he's like, oh, dude, you could feel that. Oh, this kid's coming to fight.
Yeah.
But everyone will always know, it don't matter win or lose, Thomas is coming to bring the heat, dude. And if you fight me, you know that I'm coming.
And you're in good company. You mentioned the king of what we're talking about, which is Cowboy, who's on this absolute tear right now. But he has very similar background to you. Could be a point fighter if he wanted to. He easily could do that. He's got the skill and ability to do that, but he's not. He's a killer. His record shows that. Sometimes he gets caught. Sometimes he gets beat. But who is the most exciting fighter? And every fighter will say this. Who gets the biggest pop when he steps into the arena? Cowboy.
Dude, Cowboy.
100%. So, I mean, I think you've got excellent mindset for this. You know, knowing that you're coming off 2 losses, I was kind of wanting to know where your head was at, and I actually am super stoked where your head is at. I feel like you've got the and
it won't phase me. My first loss, I was like, dang, dude, like I came down to Vegas. I did my 6-week camp, 6 weeks of my camp at Vegas, the last 2 weeks up here, Elevation. And I mean, I trained like I was with Kevin Lee. I was with all these high-level UFC guys. Like, I was sparring with him for his Ferguson fight.
Yeah.
And, like, I felt like I was, like, on top of the world, dude. And then I lost, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, dude. Like, and then I kept having people tell me, like, dude, 9 times out of 10, you win that fight. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to even hear that, bro. Right. Like, you know, because my mind was just like, no, like, don't even tell me that. Yeah. That's even worse, you know? And I would always try to get, like, I wanted to run it back, you know what I mean? Yeah. And everyone's like, nah. Like, they were like, no, dude, just let him get it and let him do his thing, you know? And it stressed me out, dude. I was like, oh, man, like, I can't believe, like, should I have fought more as an amateur? And then I had people being like, well, just, you know, start having promoters feed you easier fights. And I was like, dude, I can't do that.
It's not you.
I never want to compete for the easy challenge, or else I feel like I'm cheating myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever, get me back in there with another person that has more. So my head, mind games and stuff, dude, I'm out of that area now. Like, the win, the loss, it doesn't matter to me now.
Yeah.
It's just, I enjoy the fight and I love it.
Yeah.
And I always know the crowd is going to be like, dude, that was sick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if he was lost, dude. That kid came out and broke bones and made noise. So, so I'm...
Well, if it calms you at all, if it you know, comforts you at all, just know that 100% of your fights that I've been to, you've won.
Oh, cool.
And I'll be there. And I'll be there May 31st.
Nice.
So just so you know, that's, if that means anything, 100% of the fights I've been to of yours, you've won. So
good. You know what's crazy? Like, I had Jordan. I don't know if you know Jordan Smith is. He's like old school legend of Utah MMA, Mata LA. And he's one of my coaches for this fight. I've always wanted him to be like my coach for every fight because he's just such a knowledgeable, intelligent dude and just very motivating. And I saw him after we were at the fights, Lucas's fight at Steelfist, and he came up to me and he's like, bro, the best thing that ever happened to you is losing 2 of your first 3. I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear that, dude. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, listen, I want you to go watch Conor McGregor's first 3 fights. His first 3 pro fights. Go watch them. I was like, all right, and he goes, and then go watch your first 3 pro fights. Who's the better fighter? I was like, like, I definitely look way better and way more skilled than he did. You know, I'm not saying I'm anywhere near Conor McGregor, but his first 3 fights versus my first 3 fights, he's like, you're a far superior fighter. Yeah. And I was like, well, then how did I lose he's like, well, he lost 2 of his first 5. Yeah. You know, he's like, what do you don't think that you're going to make it now? He goes, bro, you could go 20 and 2 for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Yeah. And he put that in my mind and was like, I just want you to think about that, bro. Like, the best thing that ever happened is you losing those first 2 fights. Because what did you learn when you won your first fight, your first pro fight? I'm like, well, nothing, because I got a highlight reel KO. You know what I mean? Yeah. What'd you learn in your second fight? I'm like, oh, don't back up. What'd you learn in your third fight? I'm like, be more patient, you know? Like, I don't need to get the finish that fast. I don't need to get a KO in the first. I can get the KO in the second or the third and still make it real exciting and pick people apart. He's like, so is it that bad, you know? Like, look at all these high-level dudes. Look at Cowboy. Cowboy's lost, what, like 12 fights? Yeah. 13 fights? I don't even know. It's a high number, you know? Yeah. I mean, Conor McGregor, one of the most iconic fighters, and I don't want to say he's one of the best fighters to ever live, but I definitely think he's up there with his timing and his speed and his accuracy. And Conor lost 2 of his first 5. You know, what if he stopped? Yeah. After his second loss and quit? And I was like, you're right, bro. Like, Jordan Smith is one of the most intelligent MMA fighters I've ever spoken with on a personal basis, like face to face. He's very intelligent, very motivating dude. Yeah, I've coached football. Most of my background was with football, growing up playing football, and I always played on terrible teams. And the biggest thing I learned was how to lose and not give up, because so many of these people we're seeing, they come up undefeated, they get padded, they get easy fights, they take easy fights, and they think they're great, and then they take a loss, and all of a sudden it's like they disappear.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't have it. I don't. You need to learn how to lose. As shitty as that sounds, you got to learn how to lose. You're not going to get better. You won't get better if you always are winning.
Yeah,
you just
for real.
won't. You won't push yourself. You won't learn. So yeah, but. Enough about that because we're focusing on the win. We're focusing on getting the win.
Yeah, for real. Dude, every fight I'm coming for a championship belt. You know what I mean?
So
like
what's the training like? What's the training like? You're at one hit.
Yeah, I'm over in Layton at one hit.
So you're training with Jordan Smith. Who else you got?
Dude, like this camp, for one hit, my first half of my camp was for LJ.
Okay.
For his LFA fight, so I'm cornering him on Friday.
Yeah, good luck to you, man.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to LJ, dude, and John Neal. They both. So, really, right now, like the higher level guys I have to train with is LJ and John Neal over there, and then Jordan Smith. You know, and then Lucas Montoya. Obviously, I've been going out to Blackout and grappling a little bit.
Ooh, you got a sneaky triangle, by the way.
Yeah, bro, this is what's so I people are like, Thomas needs to do jiu-jitsu. I'm like, you guys, I've been grappling for like a long time. Like people don't understand. I actually have been grappling for a bit, you know, like I don't hit my back and I'm not like a turtle. Like I go for submissions immediately.
I never thought that, but you got a sneaky triangle.
Yeah, dude.
You locked in on me one day, and I was like, "Where did that come from?"
I think I had like shin pads on too.
Yeah, let's not get into the details about it. Let's just say I just want to give you credit about how sneaky it was.
Yeah, dude. I have one of the best things I learned from Lucas is when you hit your back, you never settle. Mm-hmm. Like you never just like, okay, let me control his posture and just kind of wait to see what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So from the first time I trained with him, it was when I hit my back, it was offensive. It was submissions, it's elbows. It's like if you guys check out Lucas's fight against Kofi in Showdown, back when Showdown was still around, it was the most aggressive and violent fight I've ever seen on the ground. And it was not from Kofi. Yeah. Like, Kofi was not landing anything on Lucas. Like, he would pick him up and slam him, which was like, I'm like, geez, dude, that fool was picking Lucas up over his head and slamming him. And then immediately when Lucas would hit the ground, he'd cut the angle and he'd come back with an elbow to the side of Kofi's head. And it was constant elbows, constant offensive. And I was like, man, you know what? If I'm gonna ever get taken down, it's gonna be immediately attack. I see so many guys get taken down by wrestlers that are strikers and are so defeated that they got taken down that they're just like, oh, all right. Yeah. You know, like, okay, what should I do from here? I got to get up. And my mindset has never been, I got to get up. I'm just like, well, dude, I'm a mixed martial artist. I'll hit you from anywhere. Yeah. I don't care if I'm in a bad position. If I can hit you, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to cause damage. So, but I've never feared getting taken down in a fight. It's usually everybody's game plan is like, all right, let's set some
he's a striker, so let's take him down. Yeah,
let's get a hold of him. So,
no, I can say personal experience. It's not the safest choice. It's not the safest choice. It was
let's go to the ground.
Yeah, I was actually because usually when we're sparring, in our camp when we take you down, we have big heavy gloves on and shin pads. They stand it right back up. And we did that, and you were like, no, let him work the transition. So then we got down, and then all of a sudden, next thing I knew, I'm like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? This is getting tight. So
that kind of goes to like if you're working on if any of you guys listening are in fight camp or you next time or Eric or anybody, like when Eric Munoz comes out with us, when he takes someone down or someone takes me down or I take someone down, I can't stand when we stop and stand up. Yeah. Because here's the thing: if you're training like that,
you're gonna fight like that.
What are you going to do when you're taken down? Even though we got big gloves on, I say, listen, get the takedown. Someone needs to establish position. Yeah. And damage needs to be created so it's in your head that when the shot comes or when you take someone down, you immediately go for damage. Yeah. You don't go for like, okay, let's kind of kick it. All right, let's get up. Yeah. It's like, and then the guy on his back. If you just settle and you're like, oh, he got me down. Okay, let's get back up. When you get taken down to your fight, no one's letting you back up. Right. Like they're going to be on top of you and they're going to hit you. So I always say, hey, even if we got big gloves on, like the shot happens. If we're willing to do takedowns, we got to be willing to do work on the ground. So I'm a big fan of like, hey, establish position first, create damage. Because if you get that takedown and that guy's scrambling and gets up to one knee, did you get the takedown? No,
Right.
they're not going to count that
Yeah.
if they get right back up to their feet. You have to control that person. You have to make it a real solidified takedown.
Yeah.
And if we just hit the ground and like, up, no. You keep going first, create some damage, and then we'll stand it up after.
Yeah.
If you guys get that established position.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
that's why I do that.
Yeah.
I try to help you guys out with that because I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Let him. He could drop some bombs on me, and that helps me because then I'm like, ooh, he's got a good top game. Like I want him to take me down more because then I'll figure out how to get up.
Yeah.
And figure out how to get away from that damage.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's always my goal when I'm in there with you is to take you down because I do not like getting hit. But so you're going out to Black House with
Blackout.
Blackout. My bad.
Yeah, you got like Justin Ellison out there, Ben Call, just like iconic jiu-jitsu guys or grapplers. My bad, they're not jiu-jitsu guys, they're grapplers. They're like, one time I was like, oh, is that a triangle choke? They're like, triangle choke? What's a triangle choke? I'm like when you lock your leg. Like he's like, no, bro, I know what that is. It's like it's called figure four. I'm like, my bad, dude. I'm like, so there's different terminology, and they're like Bayless guys, I think, is what they are. So you have like the Pedro Sauer guys, the Walt Bayless guys, the grapplers, and the jiu-jitsu guys. So.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. No, that's Lucas is one that last time when he was here we were talking about his jiu-jitsu game I just naturally go to his grappling
Lucas
game.
don't care.
Okay,
you can say whatever you want to him.
Yeah, I talked about how he spun me around like a pizza dough, man. He had me up in the air and spinning me around. So both of you guys have kind of have humbled me in my game. But I just I look at myself and I just if I can help somebody somewhere, that's where I'm there for. I'm not there.
Oh, yeah, for real.
I just like to help people, and that's why when Eric's like, I need someone. Hey man, I'll show up. I'm a heavy body. Cool. I can move around, but you and Lucas are two people that I always talk about embarrassing me on.
You know what, dude? I gotta make it clear though, like I'm nowhere near the level Lucas is as a grappler. Like he makes me look like I've never grappled sometimes, dude, and I'm like, whatever. Like.
But again, it's good you two. Again, man, it's so good that you two have each other. I mean, you two are connected to the hip. I was going to talk about your weight cut. How it's going this time around. But you have this pretty famous weight cut documentary.
Yeah, dude, I've got a few of them that are.
And Lucas is right there with you. I mean, you two are gonna go down in the history books together. I feel like.
Yeah, bro, it's the most watched weight cut in the world, actually. Like on all the weight cut videos, like over Cyborgs, over Chris Weidman, over any of theirs.
Yeah.
I think we have like close to 4 million views on it now. But yeah, dude, like I don't know how. So I had made that weight many times before, and I hadn't really got into keto yet. Like I didn't know about it enough, so I was doing it wrong, first of all. And it was my first time changing and trying to do keto, and I didn't understand it really. And then I was stressing about my weight, and then like something we don't talk about in the video is I was taking diet pills like hydroxycut black or something.
Okay.
And so my heart rate was through the roof. Constantly, I would take them every day, like I'd take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and just stay like, I got to get rid of this weight. And like I got super shredded, but I wasn't losing the weight as much as my heart rate was just going up.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were like, oh, you should have never been fighting 45. The video's pretty misleading in the aspect of like talking about my walk around weight. Like I don't know why he put that in there. I had somebody do the video for me, and I think the guy just wanted to sell the dramaticness of it more. Yeah. Which, like...
It was dramatic enough already.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like, first of all, the music in it is, like, the most gut-wrenching music on the planet. Like, I can't stand the music. Like, the majority of the video, I can't even stand. Like, if it was up to me, it would have been very different.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I was walking at 85, and then I was going to 45, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't walk at 85. Like, the most I've ever walked at is 80, and that was when... Like I was between my kickboxing career and my MMA career, and I wasn't fighting. I was just working out. So
yeah,
I'm like, dude, I was walking to like 170, 172 maybe, you know. And so it says that I cut like 40 pounds, and I'm like, so in the comments, people are just retarded, and people are like, oh, you're afraid to fight at your own walking weight, blah blah blah. And people don't understand, like, cutting weight is not to have an advantage; it's to not have a disadvantage. Like. that weight cut is the most talked about weight cut ever. Like, it's been like Boss Rutan has talked about it on TV. They've talked about it on Dana White's Contender Series. Like, tons of people have mentioned this weight cut and talked about it. And so we did another one, and we've got like a few 100,000 views on it. And it's called the Safe Weight Cut documentary. And I'm fighting 55. Yeah. It was my first pro fight. And then I did one for my last fight. I'm just waiting to finish it. So, like, I'll do probably a weight cut documentary for almost every fight. Yeah. Like, I want to show, like, the safe way. Now, people are always so concerned if I'm going to make 45, and I always make it. Yeah. Like, I weighed in at 44.3 my last fight. Yeah. Like, I'm like, listen, dude, I've missed weight one time out of 20 fights because I have a big kickboxing, and I always fought 146 as a kickboxer. So technically I had 1 pound. I could be 147. But I'm like, I've made that weight so many times. People are always like, what's your weight at? Or are you going to make weight? I'm like, dude, get out of here, bro. Yeah. I'm like, I miss weight just because the whole world watched it. I'm like, everybody's always stressing about my weight. Yeah. And I hear this kid I'm fighting actually didn't take the fight with Fabio because he missed weight by a pound or something. So everybody's like, you got to make sure you're on. I'm like, bro, I'm going to come in at 44 just to show you guys. Yeah. That I can get to whatever way.
Well, it's got to be like a point now because that's, it's the most watched thing. And I know because I have a video on YouTube that has quite a few views on it. And it was about how I lost 100 pounds in 5 months. And people are ruthless. This is bullshit. He never did that, and then and like I'm like I can't even respond to this stuff anymore. No, I can't imagine yours being in the millions.
Oh, bro, I get hundreds of comments today. I just turned off the notifications for him because I started responding to people at first, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, if this video is gonna keep growing like it's been growing, I gotta just be like,
you gotta get away from it. You can't listen to other people.
Never competed in anything in their life or done anything like that. Yeah. And it's kind of cool because like other people will jump on and then you got people arguing. Yeah. You don't even have like the things you want to say but you can't.
Exactly.
Because like I have like it's on my family channel. Mm-hmm. Like we have like almost 100,000 subscribers now. And so I can't go like and cuss people out. I can't go be a jerk. Like I can't say what I really want to say. Yeah. Because I've got to kind of keep that like neutral ground and be like.
And you know that they're just trolling. Like you said, they've never done anything like that. They don't know.
Yeah, dude. These are people that have never competed in nothing in their life. Yeah. They're telling you that. You're such a pansy and like
you couldn't make one of my shining moments was when some kid from high school who I didn't even hang out with, I didn't really associate with, I knew who he was, but we maybe had one conversation in high school, jumped on and was like, don't you discredit this, don't you discredit him. He's like, I've watched him from when he was in high school and he was overweight and he worked his ass off and he did this, and I was like, yeah, CQ, that's my boy. Like I was like, so like, when people come to your age, you're like, yeah, I love that, but you gotta. I just had to say, listen, I'm not gonna take the good or the bad. I know what I did. I know what I accomplished. I put it on there to let people know it's possible, and just what I did, and kind of my mindset towards it. And like you're doing it just to show people what it is, what a weight cut really is. Dude. It's not fun. It's not easy. It's not glorious. It's not sitting in the sauna with your sweatsuit on and shadow boxing.
Oh, bro, it's harder than the fight camp in my opinion. Yeah. Like the real weight cut. Yeah, doing it the right way. Like there's. I've done so many weight cuts like between Lucas and I, and we've just got it down to like a science now, dude. Yeah. Like there's a right way to cut weight, and like it could save a lot of fighters a lot of pain if they could learn the right way. I'm glad that video went bad because then fighters can see like this could go south quick. What we found out happened was my heart rate was constantly through the roof because of those diet pills. Mm-hmm. Well, then 2 days before the fight, I cut them out, and then my heart rate went from being through the roof and my body being able to like handle that to my heart rate being very low, and then going through the trauma of dehydration and being like, okay, wait a minute. My body was like, what's happening? Like my heart's not catching up. My heart rate's low. I'm losing all of this fluid. And I just started passing out. And in a weight cut, if you know anything about like in weight cuts, you should not be able to fall asleep at all. Right. Like even if you're miserable as could be, you should still be awake and coherent. Yeah. And I remember opening my eyes to Lucas like, bro, wake up. And I was like, I didn't know where I was at. I didn't know what day. Well, I was like, what? Yeah. I'm thinking like, where's my wife at? Why is Lucas here? And those are like things we don't share in that video. Yeah. We do share it in the next one and then like the third one.
And with people not doing it right, and having this information out there, having you share your experience, and again, now starting to teach people. I mean, basically, everyone's learning everything off YouTube. So what you're essentially doing is teaching people how to do it.
Yeah, for real.
And you could save a life. Someone who doesn't know how to do it could watch your documentary, could watch your safe cuts, and do it your way, and be fine, and get through the weight cut and be fine. But if they didn't learn it, they could do it the old school way or the way that they think they're supposed to do it, and they could die. We've seen people die.
Yeah, I would say the biggest problem most fighters have with weight cuts is they're starting their dehydration process 5 days too soon.
Oh yeah.
Like, you should not start your dehydration process till 48 hours maximum.
That's what it was.
Like, you want to, listen, if you're going to be dehydrated, you need to do it in the shortest window possible. I even say 24 hours. I said, you'll be able to do it as long as you're following the steps in the process. But a lot of guys are like, well, I'm going to start my cut in a bath on Saturday. Well, I'm like, when do you weigh in? Next Thursday. I'm like, bro, listen, the reason that the weight cuts cause damage is being dehydrated. We know being dehydrated causes brain damage. It causes lasting damage, your muscle cramps, causes all of these issues. So instead of prolonging that and keeping that pain going, which means that day you cut weight, your body's not going to want to let go of anything, because now it's in the mindset of okay, hold on a second. I'm dehydrated. I don't have any water in me. I'm not letting go of anything.
Right.
And that's when you see guys sitting in the sauna and steam room for hours and they're not even sweating.
Lost anything.
That's because their body's like, I'm not giving up anymore, or else I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That's how people die. Now, if you take that 24-hour window, maybe even a little bit more, 36-hour window, and start it then, your body doesn't even really catch up to the fact of I can keep letting go of water because I've sweat and let go of water in training. You should be in that steam room at least 3 times a week your whole fight camp.
Yeah.
That steam room, the sauna, the bath, doing that and letting your body drop water, refuel, water, refuel. So that way your body's like, oh no, I can keep letting go of water. I'm just gonna get refueled up.
Yeah.
Our bodies are amazing things, dude, in the way that they can adapt and overcome anything. So I always say, with LJ, I'm helping him with this cut. And he's like, I don't know, am I going to make my weight? Am I going to do that? And I'm like, bro, you will make it. Don't worry. You're getting to 35. You can make it.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I think I'm going to start this day. And I'm like, no. We're not starting that. Or we're going to do it the right way.
Yeah.
We're going to cut out sodium. I helped the kid cut weight for his jiu-jitsu tournament because everyone knows me as the weight cut person now. It sucks because I shouldn't get the credit for it. Lucas really should, because he's the one who's broken it down and figured out the formula for me, and I've kind of taken it and all right, now I'm going to help other people.
You have the platform. You have the followers.
I have the voice. Mm-hmm. Lucas had the knowledge and brought it to me, and then I was able to share it. So I helped this kid cut weight for a jiu-jitsu tournament, and he's like, I got to cut 6 pounds, but that's it. Because he's seen that I've cut 20 pounds before, and so he came to me, and I'm like, all right, bro, I'll help you out, And I'm like, 6 pounds is actually a lot of weight to cut still. Don't think that that's going to be easy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, but I mean, you've done this. I'm like, I know, but you don't have you ever cut weight before? Well, I've cut 3 pounds. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, 24 hours before you even start your cut, you need to cut out sodium. Sodium retains water. It's basic knowledge. Let's go from there. Cut out sodium. I'm like, don't eat anything the day of your weight cut. When you wake up, don't have any water. Drink 2 gallons of water the day before and the day before that, so you're loading up on water. Yeah. And he's like, okay. Well, he shows up to cut weight, and I'm like, hey, so you didn't eat anything this morning? He's like, well, I just had a pickle.
The most sodium filled.
Hold on. I'm like, because he's a vegetarian, so I'm like, wait a second, what? He's like, well, I just had a pickle. I'm like, I told you can't have sodium. Well, it was just 1 pickle. I'm like, that's 900 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah,
I'm
that's straight sodium.
I'm like, bro, your body is not going to let that go.
Yeah.
You were going to hold on to. I'm like, so dude, we spent 5 hours trying to cut this weight, and he dropped 3 pounds. 5 hours of hard weight cutting. I mean, I don't even want to say hard because he kept taking breaks in between the steam room and the hot tub, which you shouldn't do. If you let your body cool down, you have to get your core temperature back up again to start sweating, and he kept doing that, and I'm like, And he's like, I can't. And he got all mad at me. I'm like, bro, like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Dude, if you don't follow the process, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, you sneaking food or cheating is not going to hurt me.
Yeah.
It just hurts you, bro.
Yeah.
It makes it harder. So, like 5-6 hours of hard weight cutting, and the dude dropped 3 pounds.
Yeah.
So when people tell me, well, I only got 10 pounds, I'm like, 10 pounds is a lot of weight, bro.
Yeah.
Pick up a 10-pound weight.
Yeah.
And tell me how much weight that is.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a lot of weight.
Do that in water.
Said, imagine all those sweat drips. A gallon of water is 8 pounds. You got to fill up that plus 2 more pounds. Like, you really think you're sweating that much?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. So you can't, if you're going to cheat in the weight cut and have sodium, you're only making it harder on yourself if you want to make weight.
Yeah. I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad that you're so comfortable with it, because I did watch that documentary, and I was one that I watched, and it was scary to me to watch, because I know you personally.
Yeah, for real.
And knowing that, and then also having experienced a weight cut and just seeing you in that situation, it was scary for me to watch. And then I'd see you on social media with these other weight cuts, being like, guys, I'm good. Like, just leave me alone.
Chill.
Leave me alone. I remember your last one, you were like, if one more person tells me I'm skinny, I'm going to head kick you.
You're like, oh, dude, you're losing a lot of weight. You're looking skinny. Well, yeah, dude, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if you get what a weight cut is.
Thank you, I guess.
Like, geez.
Yeah. No, so I'm glad you got it under control, because the last thing I want to do is lose anyone else and see anybody else take unnecessary damage to their body. So I'm glad you've got it figured out. I'm glad you got Lucas, in your corner, in your head, and working with you guys. That's very important. So now let's talk about what we got coming up, what we got right in front of us. May 31st, just a few weeks away.
Yeah, dude, co-main event down in Salt Lake. I don't know where's the venue at?
The Union Event Center.
The Union Event Center, cool. That's always a cool place to go. It's such a good atmosphere, and like, I love the second level and the balcony, and like it. Yeah, it's always a dope energy place, like to have a fight at. I like that place.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I've been to bigger venues and. Like bigger venue, like when we go to the fairgrounds, and it's cool that it's that big, but I like this one. I like the double, like you said, the 2 layers, because you get such a better angle when you're like up top looking down, and it is you're right in it with everybody. There's not like open spaces. It's not this is like
crammed feel, like everybody's in there screaming, and you can feel everybody's energy.
Yeah, but it still gets we still get a packed house. So I'm a little biased because I work with the promotion, but
they do a good job.
But I tell everybody. It's to me, come out to the show. I tell everyone, come out to the show, and you'll feel the energy in that building. You feel it different than you do in other places.
I haven't fought in that building since like 2014.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
2014, yeah, dude. So I'm actually psyched to fight there.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. Have you watched any film on the guy on Florin?
Dude, I just leave it to my coaches to do that. I don't like, if you watch my footage, like, I'm such a different fighter, almost like every fight. I know he comes out and throws like a hard low kick, and I'm like, dude, you want to play the low kick game? Let's play the low kick game, dude. I'll play that game with you all day. Like, I'm known as a kicker. You know what I mean, like, I have a pretty strong low kick game and a good, like, I check kicks very well. Yeah. Like, if you don't set up a kick on me like he does, I'll either counter you down the pipe, or I'm gonna check it with my shin, and you're not gonna kick me in. So I'm like, and I stand south. I'm a southpaw. So most people that are southpaw throw off low kickers. Like, watch Edson Barbosa fight Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee switches his stance and goes southpaw. Specifically for that low kick. The low kick, it doesn't work as well on a southpaw, because even if you kick my front leg out from under me, my left cross is my money shot anyway. And that just puts more power into it. If you watch Justin Gaethje lose to, what's his name? Dustin Poirier, it was the inside low kick Justin Gaethje threw that set up the knockout shot. That rocked Justin. You know, his front leg comes out from under him, Poirier's, but his left hand follows through and just you have all the weight of your body plus that. So I'm like, you want to come out and throw a hard low kick? He does it every fight, you know, from what I've heard. And I'm like, come out and fire that low kick on me. Let's go. Let's play that game. I'm all for playing the hard shot game.
Well, as a fan, watching some of his training videos, watching some of his videos, I'm saying this is going to be a striking battle.
Dude.
This is exciting.
If I could say, like, from Lucas has watched his footage. And he's like, bro, this kid's a turtle on the ground. You know, if it does go to the ground, if you want to take him to the ground and beat him up, he's like, you could take him to the ground, beat him up, or you could beat him on your feet. You know, like you got the range, you got whatever you need. We can beat him anywhere. So I'm like, let's go, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the same. I'm gonna be the same aggressive person I always am.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I do.
And I know, you know, you're very, you know, just talking to you and being around you and knowing you the way I do, I know how cerebral you are. I know you visualization. I know you're doing visual.
Always, dude, always.
Do you have a visualization of how you see yourself winning this fight? I know everyone says, hey, I'll finish it anywhere, but do you have like a set motion in your head that you see, this is how I see myself winning this one?
Dude, I've always said, like, I don't ever see me going to decision, really, to be honest.
Right.
It doesn't matter, win or lose. I'm definitely going to come and knock him out, I think, in the first or second round. I don't think he'll make it to the third with me, to be honest, because I'm gonna dig into that body. I'm gonna make it so I'm gonna make him quit. Like I don't care if I knock him out cold. Like I just want to make him quit and give up, and kind of show like, all right, like I'm not back. I've always been here, so don't call it a comeback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said
don't call it a comeback, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't see it going to decision at all. I don't see any fight I'll ever have go to decision, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's win or lose. Like I'm not going to decision with nobody.
Yeah. This is when I hear this, I'm getting chills talking about this, and I actually get chills pretty much every time I do one of these interviews because I am such a fan of this. I am such a fan of this, and just knowing your style, watching his style, this is a fight that anybody who's maybe interested in seeing a good fight, this is one that I think is going to be fireworks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I absolutely think it's going to be fireworks. I'm so excited to watch it, and just be here. May 31st. Come out of the fight. Come out of this.
If you guys need tickets, get at me.
Come out to this. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Always support your fighter. Support your local fighter. If you're a fan of Thomas, get a hold of Thomas and get your tickets from Thomas. That helps Thomas out. So, you know, that's always my thing. You show up to if you can't get a hold of him, just show up to the venue, buy your tickets there. But if you can get a hold of your fighter you're a fan of, get the tickets from them. It really does help them out in a big way. Another thing I never ask fighters is, and I know because my thought's always different than most people's, but what's your post-fight celebration or your post-fight ritual, or what when you win, what do you do? Do you just go home with family? What do you do?
Dude, I've always like had this rule that win, lose, it doesn't matter. Like I treat my body with respect, dude. Like I just put my body through hell for 8 weeks, and I went through a weight cut, and I was injured. I had tons of injuries. Like I've never fought without an injury. I'm always hurt somewhere. Yeah. And when I see people like partying and out drinking after a fight, I'm like, nah, dude, I'm gonna go home and take an Epsom salt bath. I'm gonna treat my body with that respect. It just won me that fight. Mm-hmm. You know, I think we underestimate treating our bodies right, dude. Yeah. And a lot of fighters want to celebrate, and I get that. Like I understand, but you won't ever see me doing anything that's going to harm my body any more than I already just did. So I treat it like a temple. Dude.
Drinking alcohol after some shots to the head is probably not the wisest decision.
Yeah, dude. I'm a big fan of just like, dude, just respect. Yeah. Treat it right. Recover the right way. Because I'm coming to do it again. Yeah. And I just, I'm a big believer in your body as a temple, dude. You got to treat it with respect if you want it to take care of you. So it's going to win me this fight. Yeah. I'm going to treat it good. Yeah. So, that's my ritual. I
got respect for that. I always just want to, find that out from fighters, because I think everyone does some, one fighter I talked to after the fight, and they're like, yeah, we're going out to Buffalo Wild Wings. And I was like, that's your celebration? You just had a huge fight. You're going to Buffalo Wild Wings? They're like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, have fun. Yeah. So I just then after that I was like, what do people do after fights? So I just and I do. I like that answer. It's true. You're going to be getting right back into it, especially when you're at the level that you're at. You're probably going to be getting a fight again soon, right after this. And so don't
try to fight like 4 times, 5 times this year.
Don't do any damage to your body. take care of it. Show us some respect. So
respect, baby. I just go home and hang out with my wife, dude.
Yeah.
That's my celebration party. she puts up with all my fight camps and all the stress I have from this, dude. It's not an easy sport, and it's not like no one is fighting for the money. Even at like a higher level, maybe you got Connor out there fighting for a paycheck. You know what I mean? Because he loves money.
Yeah.
But no one's fighting for money, bro. There's not enough money ever in it to be fighting for the money.
Yeah, I just saw that stat, and it showed what Cowboy made this last weekend and what Canelo made. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it makes me sick.
You know, one day, that's what we're here for. That's why, you know, I personally am on this mission to build up, even in the local fights, I'm on this mission to try to get you guys as much exposure as I can, because you guys deserve it. You really do.
For real.
You absolutely deserve it. And so, but so the last thing I always do on I don't know if you've watched any of this, you may have watched Lucas's, but I do a trash talk segment, but it's not real, because I think trash talking, unless it's legitimate, unless you there's real heat between you two, it usually seems fake. And so I just I have an insult generator. And it just generates an insult for you. So, so it just and it's stupid. It's dumb. It's not. No one's gonna be offended by this. This isn't gonna cause a fight between it. I mean, you guys are gonna fight anyway, so it's not like it matters. But this is not. This is more. I'm mocking the trash talking. Unless it's real, then I sit back and I'm gonna let him do it. Let him do it for real. I have a feeling there is gonna be one interview that I do for this card that's gonna be real trash talking. I won't have to do this. But this is so when I did it for Lucas, he thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, so I pull up the trash talk generator. So what you'll say is generally what they say is, on May 31st I'm gonna beat Florence Stan because he's and then they do the insult. So the way, if you want to do it, you don't have to do it. You just press that button that says generate insult, and then whatever comes up, and it's gonna be dumb. So just know it's dumb.
It says, what are you waiting for? I touch it?
Yeah.
It just keeps going back to the same.
It does?
It just keeps saying, what are you waiting for?
Oh. Okay, so press it, and then whatever those whatever it says up there. Yeah, sorry. So whatever those 4 is, and it's stupid. So don't even think that it's gonna even anything.
So I'm just supposed to say the 4 things?
Yeah, just say
horse drinking lard face.
Yeah, so say on May 31st I'm gonna beat Florence Stan because he's a.
All right, you guys, check this out. I got a pretty good insult, to be honest. This is I'm a proud American, first of all. So I'm a big fan of our country and competitiveness between countries. I fought in different countries. I fought in Ireland. I fought Mexico. So I'm a patriotic person, and I know this kid's Russian or something like that. So I'm going to show you guys. I've had a few people say to me, they're like, bro, I don't know why, but Russians and I was like, listen, dude, I rise to the occasion. You want to put USA against anybody, dude? I'm going to break this kid in half, and I'm going to break Florin, whatever your name is. I don't care what country you're from, dude, but specifically because you're from Russia and we're USA, dude, I feel like we got that competitive nature about us. And I'm going to get on this kid's back, and I'm going to drop some elbows on his face, and I'm going to chant USA when I drop you. So I promise you, when I walk out with that flag, you know I'm coming for war, kid. And I know you're 5'5", so I'm going to tower over you when I break you in half. You horse-drinking lard face.
Oh my God! There we go. There we go. That's legit. That's a good one, man. You know how to sell, man. You should get behind the mic more often.
I said, dude, I'm listen, I'm gonna promote this fight as USA versus Russia. Because nothing sells more than that competitive nature of all right. So I'm I need to hit up Steel Fist and be hey, you need to send me some promotional stuff with the USA flag behind me, and then the Russian flag behind this kid. You really want to sell this fight, dude, because we got to put up that hey, USA versus Russia co-main event.
I love it, man. I love it. Everybody, this is a card you need to come to. If you've watched this interview, you better be getting tickets to this fight. I don't care if you're one of Thomas's 100 million followers. You better be filling that place up at Still Fist. You better be showing up. This is a card from top to bottom. I'm so excited, and I say this for every fight, and I know that I'm a fanboy because I work for Still Fist, but we put on good fights. We bring out the best. Thomas Hughes is one of the best to ever step in there because of his mindset. You've sat here for, I don't know, an hour now and listened to this guy's mindset and listened to what he puts into his training and the way he views fighting. I'm excited right now. Like, I'm worked up. I'm ready for the fight. I'm ready to watch this fight. You better show up. May 31st. Do not miss it. Everybody, thank you for paying attention. Please, if you can, subscribe this video. It's found on YouTube and iTunes, and we're just now on the iHeartRadio app. This will be our first full interview on the iHeartRadio app. It's just found under Undefeated by Choice. You can find us at Still Fist on Facebook at Still Fist Fight Night, and you can find us on Instagram at Still Fist Fight. Everybody, be good to yourself. Be good to your. Oh man, I'm so excited. Hold on. Let me take a breath. Let me take a breath real quick. I'm so excited. I'm so worked up right now. You got me worked up with that promotion. All right, everyone, be good to yourself. Be good to each other. I love you.